So Arcane collaborated with a Heroes and Villains t-shirt set, and it looks like there was some miscommunication because some designs got leaked which spoiled major design changes for an Arcane character, and the page got promptly removed. I stress that this is technically leaked content, so if you want to go into Season 2 the intended way, click off the video. Anyways, these designs blew up and there has been major controversy about it, so let's talk about it. The new design is bad. I personally think it looks amazing, but the thumbnail isn't clickbait. The design is bad and intentionally so. Like with everything in Arcane, there's a much deeper significance to this change, so stick with me until the end if you want to appreciate her new look. They say Season 2 is about war, and no kidding, cause I'm in the thick of it in the comments section and I'm just tired, man. Objectively, Jinx loses individuality. One of the biggest design differences between Powder and Jinx is her Rapunzel braids. Jinx with her braids cut and hair trim looks like anyone else. But remember, this is Arcane, so everything still looks amazing. Obviously, you can like the design and think it's good. I do. And by calling this a bad design, I'm referring specifically to it ruining Jinx's individuality. Fact of the matter is that Jinx looks less unique here. And I believe that the point of the change is to specifically make Jinx look less Jinx. Let's say Echo shaved his head into a buzz cut similar to his pre-time skip look. He would still look good since Fortiche will put in the love and care they do with everything, but you cannot deny that he would lose some individuality. Jinx's final Season 2 design makes her look more generic, and I'm not talking about clothing, just her base design. Especially since Jinx trimmed her hair to be just as short as Vi, further blurring the designs between the two. But that damage is minimized as Act 3 Vi will grow out her hair to some extent. So why would the Arcane writers have Jinx lose her braids? Now, I see a lot of common misconceptions being thrown around. A lot of people say it's Jinx conquering her traumas and how hair means memories, so Jinx is accepting who she is and letting go of the past. I say that has already happened at the end of Season 1. Season 1 Jinx was torn between the emotional Powder sides of her and the ruthless Jinx. Every time Jinx would have a mental breakdown, it is specifically when the traces of Powder re-emerge. When Jinx is fully unleashed, blasting on the front lines and killing Firelight, she is happy and lives in the moment. When Vi rears her head and is supposedly replacing her sister with Caitlyn is when Powder's insecurities eat her out. But when Jinx chooses to sit on the throne, literally labeled with Jinx, she kills the inner Powder and takes up the mantle of the cold-blooded killer. I will bet on my channel that Jinx won't have any traumas or visions coming into Season 2, because those are not ailments of Jinx, just symptoms of Powder. When Jinx killed Soko, the only person who loved her, she was completely calm and composed after he died, even though it was completely her fault. And hence she found peace within herself as she cut out that need for love and acceptance and fired the rocket. In the Enemy of My Enemy clip, Jinx is again beaten down and reminded of her father's death. But the steadfast Jinx doesn't seem fazed at all. Powder would definitely break down at this thought, with a direct parallel being Savika making fun of her in episode 6 to draw out her weakness. But Jinx here is only empowered by Soko's death and remains as strong as ever. In the beginning of Season 2, Powder is dead as Jinx fully embraces the Jinx side of her to do what she does best: destroy everything. If Jinx cutting her hair was representative of her letting go of Powder, she would have done so at this point. Out of universe, it would make complete marketing sense giving her a new outfit for the season for differentiation purposes, just like we've seen with Vi, Caitlyn, and Bessa, and so on. But Jinx keeps her usual look and that doesn't change. The Fortiche Instagram showcase screenshots for each act, with the first Vi versus Jinx conflict happening in Act 1 and Emo Vi happening in Act 2. Now Act 1 Jinx still has long hair, and we also see Jinx watching over Vi, who also still has long hair as you can clearly see the braids. So this is most likely going to be an Act 3 change, long past the point where Jinx accepted herself and conquered the past. So what does it represent? Well, my last video came out in a very good time and I'm even more confident in my analysis with this new reveal. I talked about how Jinx's design showcases her turning more into Powder and deliberately covering that up to take on the main villain role. Okay, I don't want to get into this argument again, and the majority of you believe that Jinx is the final villain, so I'm gonna continue on that assumption. Jinx did not shoot the rocket for some grander vision of Zaun, she did it for herself. Just so happened that Savika used her attack as a leverage point to unite the entire Undercity and push for independence as she has always supported. I'll be talking about unity and division more next week. So Jinx is forced into a position of a leader, and through her various interactions with Savika, Cambarons, fellow Zaunites, and the little Jinx fan, she will reawaken parts of her that are Powder. Now, in this position of unity, Jinx will have people watching out for her and praising her, everything Powder wanted to have. And so she will connect with the Undercity she tried hiding away from and redeveloping that love inside of her. The Jinx at the end of Season 1 abandoned all emotional tethers to create a burning world that stole so much from her, precisely why the last tears of powder were smoldered away from the rocket exhaust. But by becoming the leader of Zaun, she will backpedal on those developments and reform her empathetic side. I believe Jinx will become much more loving and responsible towards Zaun through her new position. I don't want to touch on Jinx visiting Vi in the Fight Club because I think a comment spoiled it for me and I don't know if they were telling the truth or not. But overall, Jinx is gonna have a lot of good stuff happen to her in the pretense of war. Remember, there are no winners in war. I said that Jinx will continue developing her attachment to the Undercity until her fangirl daughter sister person gets killed. This theory is perfect since it would weaponize her love and have her embrace the dark side to want to destroy Piltover, perfect for her motivation at the climax. Also could be a tipping point of when she gets her hair cut. But like I also said, her powder side will grow to be as strong as ever and be the final hope for her redemption. So at the point where Jinx gets a little off the top, she will return to having a lot of Jinx parts and powder tidbits inside of her. Well, what does that mean for the change? My sentiments are the same, that war will continue to rip away parts of her. First her finger, now her hair. Jinx is losing herself, and her braids quite literally getting cut off is indicative of that. But she is still the leader of Zaun, so she has to rebuild her finger and cover her hair to preserve the ideals associated with rebellion. The people of Zaun need a specific type of Jinx, and such she will shave off parts of herself to fit that idealized image. I see other people saying how this design isn't her accepting the traumas, but instead both halves of herself. Now that's similar to what I've been saying, with the only difference being forced versus purposeful change. Again, Jinx is losing her individuality with this design, and I don't think a moment of personal empowerment would result in such a change. The loss of braids is why so many people in the community hate the look, because she is losing herself. Someone cutting it off or Jinx being forced to would fit the narrative tone much better with the messaging of how war deconstructs its participants. And I don't think the creators made this change not knowing its divisiveness. This is not a good change for Jinx. You know why I say that? Because she is literally covering it up in the trailer. She is donning the hood to become the monster. If this change was good and showcases her development, I don't know why she would hide that in the final battle. This scene here is supposed to be a power moment for her. She does not look sad or crying. What's the point of Jinx going through a major self-revelation if she then tries to undo it and cover it up? I like the idea that the hood has ribbons on the back, so she still maintains her silhouette, hence her need to fit a mold. Like I've been saying, war will take its toll on everyone, and in this case take away Jinx's hair and individuality. This is why the Arcane creators made a change so controversial, and it's no doubt tragic seeing how much of herself is being stripped away in the engine of battle. If Jinx cutting her hair was truly about self-empowerment and realization, then I'm sorry to say, but I think the creators missed their mark here. Jinx is fundamentally going against her developments by covering up that change and making herself less defined through sheer design. With Jinx's design being intentionally bad to showcase how her Season 2 developments will rip away her defining feature, it paints a much more complete, complex, and congruent picture for the overall messaging of the show. But I want you guys to remember that I'm just an idiot who hasn't even watched Season 2 yet. Everything I'm saying is speculation, and it's more than likely I'm wrong and misreading all that the show has been falsely portraying to us. But is it my fault that I want to believe that Arcane is perfect and they wouldn't make a change hated by so many people unintentionally? I want to say that I don't like making videos like these. Arcane and its wondrous complexities should not shut down discussion, but certain points I see being brought up are just plain wrong. If I said Victor invented hex tech, yeah, I might have a point, but I'm straight up wrong. The narrative is what matters. It's telling us that Jace invented hex tech and that it was always his dream. Similarly, Jinx is already developed and fully realized at the end of Season 1, and I'm confident with that. That's why she sat in the chair labeled as Jinx, and that is what the show is trying to tell us. Like with my time skip and villain video, these videos have just been for re-establishing what the story has been drilling into our heads. Jinx's missile was intended to be a declaration of war, and that the most important conflict in the series is between Piltover and Zaun, Vi, and Jinx. Here, I want to remind everyone that the whole point of Season 1 and the final scene was Jinx accepting herself and accepting her past, and that won't be a plot point in Season 2. If you made it all the way here, I recommend watching my 1-hour Jinx analysis where I talk about her entire developments leading up to that point. Well, in the very least, I'm hoping I can continue contributing to these discussions dealing with comprehension issues. I might be wrong, we could all use a couple more rewatches. Thank you guys for watching, and man, these t-shirt designs are making me scared. Jinx looks really heroic in them, and it's making me think she might not be the final villain. But by becoming leader of Zaun, she will also be heroic to a different audience, so that's my cope. Also cool that her rocket launcher and Gatling gun Fishbones and Pow Pow got it on to give birth to a beautiful, menacing new gun. Looks like the perfect weapon for the final villain. Alright, that's it for me. Don't hate on me too much in the comments, don't unsubscribe, and Also, do you like how good this thumbnail is? Thank you to Lena Simp for the artwork and check out her webtoon. I know a lot of you guys are horny Kate Vi shippers, so maybe this will calm you down. Check out Jock's Secret Crush on webtoon. That's it from me. I'll catch you guys in the next one, yeah? Bye.